Let's get ready. What's going on, everybody? What is going on with y'all tonight? I'm feeling good. Feeling all right. Feeling like I'm ready to have a conversation. Feeling like it's going to be a good conversation. Feeling like it's going to be a conversation when it comes to, when it comes to healing. Let's have this conversation, you guys. Let's get into it. Let's dive into it. But I hope y'all are having a great evening. But as they say, when it comes to the pressure points of life, when it comes to the healing, I just got to get some things. We got to talk about some stuff. So let's not hold off any longer. Let's get into it, y'all. First.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday Nights Live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft tacos.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the banner.
With your hosts, FLAVIUS and ULISES. We rolling Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, each and every single one of you guys. Welcome to another edition of the F.I.R.M. Saturday Night Podcast. Welcome each and every single one of you guys. Hope y'all are doing well. And as always, if you are watching this live streaming podcast, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that heart button. Make sure you share this button. If you haven't already, go to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channels that we have over there. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell to get notified, and all that wonderful stuff. And if you are on the Instagram, at the F.I.R.M. 365 24/7 is where you'll find us at the gram. So make sure you follow us there. And also, we're trying to build a little something over there in TikTok. So make sure you follow us there at the F.I.R.M. 365 is where you will find us there. But I got to give my caution. And the caution is tonight's topic of conversation. It may ruffle some feathers a little bit. It may stir the pot just a little bit. Nothing crazy. But we're going to talk about the pressure points when it comes to healing and what all of that entails. We're going to get right into that in a little bit. But how are you guys doing tonight? How is life treating you on a beautiful, beautiful Saturday night here in Pensacola, Florida? It's beautiful weather. Um, you know, the warmer months, Florida always seems to be the first state to get 1,000 degrees before everybody else does. So we're slowly starting to feel it. This past week was definitely a little warmer than normal. Dealing with 90 something degrees with the humidity, like super skyrocket, sky high. But we survived it. We're going to have to survive another 6 more months of this heat. Partake us all the way through December. The hope is that it doesn't. But you never know how Florida weather goes. You never know how Florida weather goes. But it's nice and warm, beautiful. It was a beautiful day today. Went out downtown, saw some spots, see some places, ate some German food. I haven't had German food, and I can't tell you how long. I grew up in Germany as a child, and while out there in the middle, while my dad was in the military, so all we used to have was German food and the Wiener Schnitzel. If y'all haven't had Wiener Schnitzel, I hope you guys have Wiener Schnitzel. It's a veal. It's a veal. Yes, it's that word. But what's going on, Sally? Hope all is well with you today. Hope you've had a good day so far. What's going on, Ruth? Hope you are doing well today. With everything that's going on in life, hope you guys have been staying out of trouble. But I was out there in downtown Pensacola today. Good vibes. I tell anybody who wants to come visit Pensacola, you will definitely enjoy the vibe for sure. Pensacola has slowly grown. I've been here now for 2 years. For 2 years now, and it's slowly grown on me. Like I can truly, honestly say that I enjoy going out and really just vibing. Like everybody just wants to have a good time. Nobody wants to get in trouble. Nobody really wants to start fights. At least in the downtown area. There are, on the west side of town. Don't go to the west side of town unless you like violence. Then go ahead and hold it to the west side of town. Sally says that she loves the chicken schnitzel. Yes. I had the Wiener Schnitzel. But the chicken schnitzel was on the menu. But German food is Germany itself was part of my upbringing. My dad was in the military. We went to like 3 different stations. We lived in 3 different places, 3 or 4 years at a time. Munster, Bevenhausen, then we were at a place called Giebelstadt, next to a place called Würzburg. And then, we was at another station that was like an hour south of Stuttgart, a small little place down there. So Germany was great. Love Germany, love the snow, which is why I love snow, which is why I prefer the cold over the heat. Go sledding, skiing, the whole nine. Definitely loved it. But hopefully you guys are having, excuse me, hopefully you guys are having a good weekend so far. Like I said, my weekend's been great. Have enjoyed myself so far, man. And I pray that y'all are the same. But tonight's topic of conversation, the pressure points when it comes to healing. I want to talk about healing because I think there's a lot of gray area when it comes to that, right? There's a lot of gray area when it comes to the healing. Sally said she stayed at the airport. She stayed at the airport in Germany on the way to Italy once. Sausages were good. They were. Sausages are delicious. Nothing beats the gummy bears, though. Like the gummy bears in America has nothing compared to the gummy bears that we had in Germany. They got all sorts of gummy worms, gummy tongues, gummy whatever the case is. I mean, it is the candy there is amazing. The chocolate, the real chocolate German cake, magnifique for sure. But thankfully, gracefully, been a part of growing up in different cultures, experienced some stuff. I've been to Italy as a child. I was like 12, 11, 12. Went to Italy, went to Austria. Beautiful castles. The castles there are amazing. History out the yin yang. What's going on there? What's happening, my good sir? But the castles there are amazing. The history. I had the chance to visit one of the concentration camps down there for the Jewish Holocaust. It's real, despite what people might think. It is real for sure. So a lot of history. I haven't been there since I was 12. I left when I was 12. Would love to go back as an adult and really just experience the fullness of what it has. But as a child, it was amazing. It was great. But now you know about the gummy bears. So when you go back down that way, go ahead and get you some. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I actually have a friend in North Carolina that travels to Germany for work. And when he comes back, he sends me a pack of gummy bears. I might share with y'all. Might. Not quite sure. But again, before we go any further, make sure y'all share this video. If y'all haven't already, like and heart this video. Let your people know that we are live and we are in color. We're talking about a very, very good conversation tonight. We're going to talk about healing. I really feel like, based off of several conversations that I've had the last several days, including today, when it comes to healing, how important is healing, right? And the obvious answer is, man, healing is important. Like, you can't really move forward in life unless you're truly healed. Not saying that you can't move forward in life, but you really can't move forward in life unless you healed. When we're dealing with traumas, right? When we're dealing with things that we've been through in life, there are different stages of healings that we undertake, whether we realize it, whether we go to counseling or not. Like there's a lot of people who have not been to counseling and who healed. And there's a lot of people who haven't healed, right? Because again, at the end of the day, healing is an individual choice. You either choose to heal or you choose to stay a victim. Choose to stay in the exact same position you was 2 years ago. Talking to a friend of mine, and we had this conversation, and it was like, man, healing is supposed to bring about change. Healing is supposed to bring about change. And when you haven't talked to somebody in let's say 6 months, you haven't talked to them in 6 months, and you talk to them after 6 months, and they were like, man, you've changed. You've grown. That's a testament really of how much you've been healing by your growth. How many of us have ever had to deal with an ex of some sorts? An ex-best friend, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, and it's been like a year since you last spoke to them. They remember the last version that they left you. Like, they remember you from a year ago, right? But they had that conversation with you, they go with you, and the next thing you know, they're like, man, you changed. I could tell you matured. Oh, I can tell, because the last time we had this conversation, you couldn't even have this conversation, how angry you were, how upset you was. And it's like, you know what? Yeah. That's because I'm growing, I'm healing. And so tonight I really wanted to discuss and talk and really just dive into the pressure points when it comes to healing. because the truth of the matter is, and it's an oxymoron, right? Because in order to heal, there has to be pain. In order to heal, there has to be pain. Why? Because a lot of the things that we go through and that we deal with, and I had a conversation earlier today, and it was like when a wound is not healed properly, when it's not healed properly, it causes infections, it causes scabs, there's even pain involved because of the infections and because of the scabs. So anybody who's familiar with the medical field knows that sometimes in order to bring healing to a wound, you have to reopen it so it can heal properly. And a lot of us, if we can be honest, we avoid that part of the healing process. We avoid that part of the healing process because we don't want to go through the hurt. We don't want to have to deal with the pain. But yet that is the most important piece for us to be able to heal properly. So we would rather avoid the pain of change and stick with the pain of staying the same. When you are dealing with being single, as an example, you're dealing with being single. You're dealing with trying to move on with your life. You're dealing with trying to figure out this mess that's been created from the past. Not just the past relationship, but from the past. We struggle with it. And so we are trying to figure out how to navigate. And all of this navigation, because somebody did something to you, all of a sudden reminds you of something that somebody did 10, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. And if we was to have an honest look about that situation, then we can honestly say, you know what, you have not healed properly. Because what happened to you is not the same thing that happened to you 5 years ago, but yet you have somehow correlated the feeling of being hurt, the feeling of being left, the feeling of whatever the situation is. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes we believe we healed because we're not in that environment. We're not in that situation no more. So it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, as long as I don't have to deal with that, out of sight, out of mind, then if I stay there long enough, then I can heal from that, or I believe that I'm healed. I had a situation, and this situation happened, 2002, 2001, 2002. Happened with a relative. And 21-year-old man, whatever the case, 22, 23, and had a big fallout, huge fallout, to the point where even though I loved this individual, what happened was so bad that I had to completely just end that whole situation, end that relationship. Couldn't do it. Done. He hurt me too much. Not only did he hurt me, but he hurt people that was connected to me. Like it was such a bad ordeal. Horrible ordeal. We don't see each other for years. I think I'm good, right? I think I'm straight. Man, I'm healed from that. I've forgiven him. Well, he's right over there. You want to talk to him? Nah. Nah, I'm good. I'm good because you can forgive, but you don't have to talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I saw him sit like 6 years later. They don't want to deal with it. But I'm felt a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm good. And people were asking me, "Hey man, you good? You straight?" Yeah, yeah. My ego, my pride was puffing up. Yeah, man, I'm good. Like, let's not talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's not talk about it. So from 2007 all the way to 20, for another 10 more years passed. I'm in a whole other state now. So in my mind, I am not seeing this guy ever again. My wife at the time, my ex-wife, we talked about it like several times throughout the years. Like, hey, I know I'm good. I'm healed from it. I've forgiven. I give God the glory. Oh, as our church folk do. We got to give the handshake and the glory. You know what I mean? And so we do that. And then my grandmother, my dad's side, ended up getting sick. She was in the hospital. At that time, they wasn't quite sure if she was going to make it. So I decided to go after work to the hospital. See my grandmother, be like, hey, Abuela, we love you, blah, blah, blah. She was doing better. Everything was cool and great. As I'm leaving the hospital, the double doors, as I'm leaving the hospital with the double doors opening up, this person who I never thought I would see ever again is walking in at the same time that I'm walking out. And it was like a what do you do moment. Like I was like I ended up giving this person a hug because I was so shocked at what just transpired. What just happened should not have happened. Ain't no way. As I'm walking out, he should be walking in at the same time in a whole other state that you're 2,000 miles away from. Yeah, you can't even see your mom, but ain't no way we should be coming in and out at the same time. No way. And it happened. You guys. And I was just, and the worst part about it, man, it was like I gave this dude a hug. Gave him a hug. When I should have just ignored him, said hello, at the very least say, be cordial, but don't touch them. Don't say hello. Don't give him a handshake. Don't do none of that stuff. What's wrong with you? I got into that vehicle and all of those emotions, all of that anger, all of that resentment, all of that just flooded in all at the same time. It was unbearable. Like I was driving home, like just tears just coming down the face because I didn't realize that I truly did not heal from what happened. I disguised it because it was out of sight, out of mind. We didn't talk about it. I tried going to counseling and that failed. And it was like, I told myself that I'm good. I told myself that I was fine, that I was great. Until I came face to face with this very thing that I thought I was healed from. Just to find out that I wasn't. I came home. I couldn't even get inside that house because I don't see my kids cry. I don't want my kids to see me crying. I had to tell the ex to hide them so I can go into the shower. And I'm laying in bed like I'm in the shower, just confused as all get out. Get done with the shower, lay in the bed, confused as all get out. Because I'm like, what just happened? How could this have happened? I was still tripping on the fact that we came in and out at the same time. That was straight out of a movie. Straight out of a movie. And I find myself angry, bitter, shame, guilt, bitterness. Like, I can't even tell you how many emotions was just flooding me all at the same time, because it was a lot. And I had to understand my reality was that I was not healed from what happened. And in order for me to heal, I had to learn how to revisit that wound. Let it open up properly so it can heal properly. I had to go back to counseling. Had to open up to, my closest confidants and let them know something that I have to tell you, something crazy that just came out of nowhere. Like it took me days to get over that. It took me days to get over that. Like, it was one of those where it really, really just, like, you want to talk about something that's mentally draining? Have any of y'all been there? Something that's so mentally draining that you just don't know what to say. You just don't know what to do. I share that story because there's a lot of us that are going through life thinking that we are healed from certain situations that has happened to us X amount of years ago, but we're not truly healed. We've just learned how to avoid the healing. A bad wound still heals. It just doesn't heal properly. It may look like you're healed. Oh, this wound it's been here, man, all my life. Yeah, but it doesn't look right. Well, but it doesn't give me any problems until you start getting a little bit of an infection in your bloodstream and your muscles and your skin. And it's like when you go to the doctor, they're like, yo, how long you been having that? How long you been having that? Because that's a problem. Well, it doesn't hurt anymore. Yeah, but it's a problem. And we go with life. Do you know that the way that we make decisions a lot of the times is based off of the things that we've been through, is based off the trauma that we've lived? That our way that we pick men, the way that we pick women, is based off of situations that we've been through. And so I wondered why my picker wasn't working. Right? I done had this thing calibrated. Why is it still? It's kind of like driving, and you're like, my wheel alignment's off. Like, why am I keep going this way? And so it's compensating instead of just going to the mechanic to tell them, hey, can we get a wheel alignment done? But no, and after a while, we get used to driving like this. Like, why is the steering wheel at this angle? Right? Why is it at this angle when it needs to be right here? But we're so used to this that when somebody normal comes into your car, the first thing they're going to point out is what you're doing is not normal. But in our minds, in our brains, what we have conditioned ourselves to do, man, don't talk to me about what normal is. This is normal. This is normal. That's why you see couples who have loud fights in public. They don't care who's watching. They don't care who's listening. They don't care if their kids are in the backseat or not. Why? Because this is what they've been conditioned to do. That is their normal. And a lot of us have been living what we feel like is normal, but it's not. How we handle situations, it's not normal. It's bad habits. It's trauma coming to the surface. So now you're in defense mode. Now you're protecting yourself. I am not going to allow this to happen. So this is my standard right here. I will not be treated like this. So if you ain't going to treat me like this, bye. Deuces both ways, right? Deuces both ways. But our standard could, and this is the question to you guys, so y'all can feel free to answer if y'all want to. But is it possible that our standard, our expectations is coming from a unhealthy place? Nobody wants to get hurt, but there's a healthy way to do it. But what if our way of protecting ourselves is coming from a place that needs healing? For those who are married, what do they say? Your spouse should be your best friend. Your spouse should be the very person who you can talk to, who you can be vulnerable with, who you can lean on. But how many times has somebody come to you for counseling, or you've gone to counseling, where it's like it is quite the opposite? What we deal with growing up, how we respond to that growing up, determines what we feel, what we believe is normal. The way that I'm arguing with you is not normal. That is not how a healthy couple should be responding. We need to respond normal. We need to respond with maturity, with emotional maturity. We need to respond with logic. We cannot allow our feelings to get in the way of what's happening. It should be us versus the problem, but this problem got us clashing. What's really the problem here? How we handle situations is based off of the trauma that we've been through in the past. How we handle that is a choice that we have to make. Seek the counseling that you need, professional counseling preferably, right? Church counseling is great. Your friends are cool. But at the end of the day, there are deeper issues that you will never tell a soul that has to be talked about, that needs to be dealt with. Why am I behaving like this? Why am I the way that I am? And I am that way. I do what I do because there are certain situations that I need to really overcome. Growing up, I was the middle child. And early on in life, there was some physical abuse. Up until the age of 15, it was more mental, more emotional abuse. Specifically, more from my dad. And the things that were said, whether, some type of son you are, basically, you're not going to, it was a whole lot of crushing the confidence. Crushing the confidence. I even had a teacher, 5th grade, tell me the same thing. So I lived with that trauma. I lived with that for years, thinking that I was never enough. For years, thinking I was not good enough, that I was a mistake, that I'm always going to be a problem for somebody. I took that mindset into my adulthood, got married right after high school, joined the military right after high school. Took that into the marriage. I allowed my spouse at the time to make the majority of decisions because I felt I was not confident enough that you know what, I had a great idea. I had, I was smart enough to make this decision. I didn't have that confidence because I never dealt with what I was going through as a kid. It took years of counseling for me to finally get to a place where now I make decisions. Now I'm the alpha male, right? I'm the alpha male. You can't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. You know what I mean? That type of situation. Well, I'm really not that bad, you guys. But I'm at that place now where I can make, and I can, and I will, and I have make executive decisions. I'm in position of leadership at the job. I had a position of leadership at the church. So I know how to make decisions. I know how to include everybody, and I know how to make executive decisions if I have to. But all of that was learned because I had to undo what was done. I had to forgive my parents, my dad. I had to forgive anybody who said anything negative to me. Because that is not who I am. But it took me time to figure that out. And I made bad decisions along the way. Had to learn from those bad decisions. I've learned from those bad decisions, and now I'm at a better place. But I'm at a better place because I understood that in order for me to heal properly, I had to reopen those wounds. I dealt with abandonment. I felt alone. I felt like I wasn't good enough, not even for God himself. I had those thoughts, for sure. And I had to work on those things. I had to get to a place where, hey, man, like is this is really, Lord, is this really how you see me? Went to a counseling session one time, and they told me to, have my head down on my lap, and they were like, just be still, stay quiet, and the Lord's going to show you something. The Lord's going to reveal something to you. And sure enough, that's what happened. And God was showing me when I was a child in Germany. And my older brother was playing baseball. We were all playing sports. We were all playing sports. And so my brother he had an away game, and they were like, hey, my brother was like, hey, you want to come? We got room for you on the bus. And I'm like, sure. I'm a little kid looking up to my big brother. You know what I mean? So my mom makes me a sandwich, a lunchbox, whatever the case is, and I'm ready to go. Ready to go to have fun, watch my brother play some baseball. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. The coach comes up and says, you need to leave because my son is coming and there's no more room on the bus. I was like, wow. So I had to get off the bus because the coach's son was coming. Get off the bus, man. I'm sad. Right? I am sad because I'm like, that's not fair. I was 7, 8 years old. This is not fair. Like, just because I was here first, that whole scenario. In Germany, where we stationed at in Schwäbisch Gmünd, there was, where we lived was like a huge apartment complex. And downstairs in the basement is where they had the washer and dryer. So I was embarrassed for whatever reason to go home. I was embarrassed. I was sad because I had been abused of some sort. So I didn't even want to go home because I didn't know if I was going to get yelled at or not. Right. So I go into the basement to the washer and dryer, and I'm crying and eating my sandwich. A Goya sandwich. The Goya, for those, y'all know what I'm talking about. That so juicy, so yummy. And guess who happened to walk down doing some laundry? My mom. And she was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, they kicked me out the butt. I'm just like, oh, super sad. And she just takes me back inside the house and life goes on. But God brought that memory up. And I'm sitting there, and the lady's like, what are you seeing right now? And I was like, I'm seeing this. The story, pretty much the story that I told you guys. And it was like, and I see my mom coming to me and la 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 la. And so she's like, so what is the Lord? She's like, what is the Lord telling you? And at that moment, I had one of those impactful, life-changing moments. Because what the Lord told me was, he's like, I saw you while you was at the basement. And the Lord said that you are the one that I left the 99 to find. And if you're not familiar with that passage of scripture, there's a parable that one lost sheep was gone, out of the fold. The good shepherd left the 99 sheep to go find that one, pick it up, put it on his shoulders, and walk back home. And the Lord told me that day, like, you are the one that I left the 99 to find. Broke me down like a shotgun, sobbing like I haven't sobbed like that before, and haven't sobbed like that since. Definitely not gonna sob on this show, but it was a very powerful moment, a realization that it didn't matter what I thought about myself. It didn't matter what people said about me, my mistakes, things that I did wrong, things that I did on purpose. That God said that you are the one that I left the 99 to go find. That brought such a healing to me, to know how valuable I truly was, to know how much that I'm loved, that I was worthy enough, valuable enough to leave the 99 to go find me. And I'm the one that got myself lost. I'm the one that went to the basement. I'm the one that didn't want to go home. And yet God said, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter how much you've done it. I am bringing you home. I found you. I know where you are, and I'm coming to get you. And that was such a healing for me in areas that I did not know I needed healing from. To know that I'm valuable. To know that I am good enough, that I am strong enough, that I am smart enough, that I am creative enough. Like everything that I was dealing with brought healing in those areas. Allow me to become the man that I am today. At least began the process of becoming that man. But it's because I was willing to revisit something that was hurtful. Can we do the same? Can you do the same? You want the best for your life. You want the best for your children. You want what is good. And good is fine, but there's better than what you have right now waiting for you if you are able to heal. Heal from that abuse. Heal from that last relationship. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. You can blame them all day, but it's somehow, some way, it still affected you. Can you heal from that? We can't be making excuses. Like, well, the way that you treated me made me feel like what the last one did. What happened? I had a situation some years ago where the person was like, us breaking up reminded me of my dad abandoning me. Like, you abandoned me. And it's like, that is a sign that somebody wasn't healed, because I'm not the dad and I did not abandon her, right? Yeah, we broke up, but they correlated the breakup with the abandonment. And that's not fair for the person that you're saying what you did reminded me of what they did. It's just a good talk. It's just a good sign that you have not healed properly from the very thing that you believe that you were healed from. We got to be willing to grow. We got to be willing to heal, knowing that it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful, y'all. There is no ifs, ands, or booties about it. It's going to hurt. But again, you have there's two choices of pain. You get to choose. The pain of staying the same or the pain of change. You. My advice, my suggestion, always go for the pain of change. You don't want to be that person that you call 6 months later down the road and you're still in the same spot. There's some people that I don't talk to for a good while. Link up, have a conversation, and they are still doing the same thing they was when you left. The pain of staying the same, the pain of not growing. Don't put me in that category. Lord, don't put me in that category. Look, I want to grow. I want to be better. I want to be a better father. Eventually, I want to be a better husband. Eventually, I want to, in my jobs and in that situation, be better. I don't want to be like how I was 6 months ago. Who do you want to be a year from now? How do you vision yourself a year from now? And what necessary steps are you willing to do, to make, to be part of that? God sometimes brings people. God sometimes brings people back to you. Is it a test? How do you feel? Do you feel it's a test? Let me know. Do you feel it's a test if God brings somebody back to you? Is it an ex? Somebody who's not good enough? Somebody who gave you problems before? And they come back into your life? Is it a test? Perhaps. Perhaps it's a test. I mean, when we look at a situation that put us at a place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, at not a good place, and we finally get rid of that person, and it's like you just feel better. You're at a place where you're like so focused that you're starting to grow, you're starting to improve your life, and all of a sudden, bam, they show up. Hey, how are ya? Long time no talk to, stranger. What do you do? And all those old feelings come back. The feelings of, I love this person. The feeling of, but they hurt me. The feelings of, I'm confused now. The feeling of, oh, I'm so angry all at the same time. That is a good sign that you have not healed. Because if somebody hurt me, you know what I'm not going to do? Become the best friend, right? If some dude that I fought 5 years ago, we get into a fight, give me a black guy, give me whatever the case is. He comes back like, What's up, homie? Like out of the blue. Woo. What? You well, we are not homies, we not boys, we not friends, we not nothing. What do you want? What do you want? Well, I just want to see if you changed. Because the last time we had to fight was because this is how you were. So I just want to see if you changed. So that way we can be friends now. That way we can be lovers now. That way we can figure out if this relationship is worthy enough to continue if you changed. Wait, what? You're wondering if I've changed? You want to know if how you changed? When you don't take them back. Like, no, you had an opportunity to be cordial, to be cool, to get married. You had that opportunity. You lost it. You blew it. You messed that up. And now you want to come back and blame me? Does that sound like manipulation? Does that sound like gaslighting? I mean, I hate to use those words because everybody uses it loosely, but at the same time, we have to be willing to admit that, man, am I healed from that situation? Am I truly healed? Maybe God does bring somebody back from your past to let you know, you thought you was good. you thought you was good. Now you sitting there struggling, trying to figure out, is this a blessing or is this a test? Is this a blessing or is this a test? Like, no. Can people change? Sure. They can change. I'm a testimony that people can change. But you know what? If you don't pay attention to the fruit, anybody can tell you that they've changed. Anybody can tell you that they're a different person. But the fruit, that's why you have to be okay with being patient. Okay? Well, let's see. Let's see. No, I'm not making no promises. I'm not saying nothing to you. This is who I am today. This is how much I've changed. This is how much I'm growing. Let's heal. This is how much I've healed. And if I do take you back, if I do accept you into my life, then you need to show me fruit of growth. Fruit. What you used to do in the past, nah, it's not gonna fly no more. Nah, boo. We ain't playing these type of games, boo. If you are healed, you will know the difference. Sometimes you know the difference before you even get yourself involved. Because it doesn't take people long to show their true colors. The second go around. The first go around, they got you. First go around, yeah. They know what to say, they know how to act just to get you. But the second go around, you already know them. You already know them. Pay attention and believe them when they show you something. Don't make excuses. Don't justify. Believe them the first time. But it's all part of our growth. Like let's continue to heal. Let's not Let's not be afraid to deal with the pain that's involved with the healing process. I know I want to heal, and I know there's some things that I need healing from. Because the truth is, there are certain things that you will never know that you're healed from until you're back into that situation or back in that environment. And it's okay if you're healing but not fully healed. Case in point, the reaction that you had last year is different from what you have this year, 6 months ago. You react differently now. That's a sign that you're healing. You may not necessarily be healed. It may still get under your skin, but you're healing. Embrace that. That's a victory. That's a victory. You not responding to said person, that's a victory. You not allowing that person into your life, even though you said hello back, that's a victory. Embrace that. That's growth. Because 6 months ago, you would have been all in, like, oh, just take me away. Take me away. So how dramatic I got that. Take me. Should have been an actor. Not really. But let's grow. Let's grow, you guys. Let's heal. Let's heal from the past traumas. Let's not be afraid of the pain associated with the healing process, because it's necessary for you to move forward. You want a relationship, you want to be with somebody, but if you are not healed, you will miss out on the blessing. You will miss out on the blessing of somebody who can definitely be a blessing to your life and help you to heal. Let's heal, you guys. But all right, I'm not going to hold you guys up much longer, but I just wanted to get on. Tomorrow night, the F.I.R.M podcast will be live and in color. FLAVIUS is out with his family, celebrating the birthday week that he had. But they're all together, so that's where he is at. So I told Flav, said, hey, let's set it up for tomorrow. I said, but tonight I'm going to just hop on here, do a little something. That was definitely that was in my mind and my heart and my spirit to talk about. Hopefully it helped you the way that it helped me. Healing is a process. Embrace it. Don't run from it. If there's pain associated with it, and just be like, and just go in, let the wound heal properly so you can move forward in life, so you can be a blessing to the person that you are supposed to be with, so you can be a blessing. I don't want to miss out on a good thing because I chose not to heal. All right? And thank you for being on this podcast. It's a blessing that you guys are on. It's a blessing every single weekend that we come on here to engage with you guys, to create a family, a firm fellowship in a righteous manner. We believe in fellowship in a righteous manner, and that's what we stand by. Awesome message. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, Ruth, for being a part of the show. And my brother Dale, hailing from Virginia. I'm going to head over there and get some Little Caesars from you, man. You know what I mean? Want some Little Caesars from you. But outside of that, you guys, again, tomorrow night, we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. That's the plan. If anything changes, just if you haven't followed the page at the F.I.R.M 365 24/7 on Facebook, go ahead and follow that page where you'll be getting notified of the time of when we will be on. But outside of that, you guys have been amazing tonight. Thank you all so much for hearing me talk for the last hour. Trust me, I don't like hearing myself, but at the same time, it's some things that I just gotta talk about. When it's on my chest. I mean, in order for me to sleep gooder, I have to be able to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, but love you guys. Y'all be safe. And tune again tomorrow evening for another edition of the F.I.R.M podcast.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday Nights Live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table. No trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft tacos.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the banner.
With your hosts, FLAVIUS and Ulysses. We rolling Eastern Standard Time.